Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are reading from Bhagavad-Gita as it is, chapter number 18 and text number 65. The most famous verse. In Mumbai, when our temple, Juhu temple, was under construction, our good old friend Nathji Prabhu, he passed away. He brought a few of his friends who were at that time attending the Mayavadi impersonalist. His name is Chinmayanand Swami. He had a big following all over the world, and he happened to be in the place called Pavai. He has a big ashram. So our Juhu was under construction, and he brought them to meet Srila Prabhupada. And they were all sitting, so nobody was speaking. So Prabhupada asked them, so I heard you are students of Bhagavad-Gita. So can you tell me what is the conclusion of Bhagavad-Gita? And they started thinking individually, then they started confirming with each other, and they could not come to a conclusion. So somebody had the courage to tell, Swamiji, Bhagavad-Gita, we don't have any conclusion. Why? Because every time you read, you get a different meaning. And Prabhupada became so furious. He thumped his fist on the desk and said, who said that there is no conclusion of Bhagavad-Gita? You can read very clearly, but you don't want to accept. That's why there is no conclusion. If you do not know conclusion, does it mean that others do not know? Then Prabhupada started quoting these verses that is today. And Sarva Dharmana Parityaja, and they got really, virtually shaken up. So the leader was saying, Swamiji, we simply came for your darshan. And Prabhupada said, did you have my darshan? That's the nature of a pure devotee. These people are not devotee, and they are students of Bhagavad-Gita. What a farce is that? So Prabhupada would take all the opportunity. He is so clever, he would know who is from where. Similarly, another incident happened with Dr. Patel, who brought some Swaminarayan, some people, and he introduced them. Prabhupada, they are also Krishna Bhaktas. And Prabhupada asked him, what kind of Krishna Bhaktas are there? And they did not understand that Krishna Bhakta means Krishna Bhakta. But Prabhupada is asking, there must be some meaning. And Prabhupada exposed them. Krishna Bhakta is one who is constantly glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna. That is a Krishna. And Krishna himself says that Mam bhaktya nitya yukta upasateo satatam kirtayanto mam yatantas chudradavrata. So today's verse is so much conclusive because yesterday's verse was indicating that. You read the 64th verse. It is said, because you are my very dear friend, I am speaking to you my supreme instructions, the most confidential knowledge of all. Guhya tamam. Shrudu me paramam vacha sarva guhya tamam bhuya. That means, is there any more secret? First of all, you do not accept Krishna as the authority, and yet you think it is a very mesmerizing treatise, so let me use my brain and become a jnani? No. Real jnana is already stolen well before you start your studies. That is the nature of Mayavadis. So here is the Sarva Guhyatamam. And Bhuyaha Shrunu me param vacha. Bhuyaha. Bhuyaha means what? Again. It means Krishna must have spoken it before. And read the same verse in chapter number 9. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyachi mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi satyam te pratijani priyosi me. And what is the last verse of chapter number 9? Yeah, but there is little difference. But the Mame vaishyasi satyam te pratijani priyosi me. But this is the same thing. Wait a minute. Yukta atmanam matparayana. That is the matparayana. Engage your mind always in thinking of me, become my devotee, offer obeisance to me and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. Mame vaishyasi yuktai tvatmanam matparayana. And here it is. Mame vaishyasi satyam te pratijani. Pratijani means declare it. This is the most confidential truth. Right? So, let's read. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi satyam te pratijane priyosi me. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi satyam te pratijane priyosi me. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi satyam te pratijane priyosi me. manmana, thinking of me, bhava, just become madbhaktaha, my devotee, matyaji, my worshipper, mam, unto me, namaskuru, offer your obeisances, mam, unto me, eva, certainly, ishyasi, you will come, satyam, truly, te, to you, pratijane, I promise, Priya, dear, asi, you are, me, to me. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me and offer your homage to me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. The most confidential part of knowledge is that one should become a pure devotee of Krishna and always think of Him and act for Him. One should not become an official meditator. Life should be so molded that one will always have the chance to think of Krishna. One should always act in such a way that all his daily activities are in connection with Krishna. He should arrange his life in such a way that throughout the 24 hours he cannot but think of Krishna. And the Lord's promise is that anyone who is in such pure Krishna consciousness will certainly return to the abode of Krishna, where he will be engaged in association of Krishna face to face. This most confidential part of knowledge is spoken to Arjuna because he is the dear friend of Krishna. Everyone who knows the path of Arjuna can become a dear friend to Krishna and obtain the same perfection as Arjuna. These words stress that one should concentrate his mind upon Krishna and very form with two-handed, carrying a flute, the bluish boy with a beautiful face and peacock feather in his hair. There are descriptions of Krishna found in the Brahma Samhita and the other literatures. One should fix his mind on the original form of Godhead, Krishna. One should not even divert his attention to other forms of the Lord. The Lord has multi-forms as Vishnu, Narayan, Rama, Varaha, etc. But the devotee should concentrate his mind on the form that was present before Arjuna. Concentration of the mind on the form of Krishna constitutes the most confidential part of knowledge, and this is disclosed to Arjuna because Arjuna is the most dear friend of Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshul Militan Jena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Jatapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavansya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitansya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopisa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Shri Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। In this verse of today, the word bhava is translated just become. Just become means it's very emphatic, while that bhava is translated only become. Can you see the difference? Become and just become. I have already told you, just become now. And it's an urgency. It's an urgency. So, when this kind of emphasis come, even in the you don't see that kind of emphasis in the translation. That's okay. But we are students of Bhagavad-Gita, and even word to word has a little difference on the emphasis than the translation. It doesn't matter. It is at both the places. So, conclusive aspect, why are you arguing? Just become my devotee. Enough. Krishna is never tired of answering all the questions of Arjuna, even if he... So he invites. Do you still have doubt? Ask. So, this is the most important verse. Then even I would prefer say, take my shelter utterly. Sarva dharmana parityajya mama ekam shranam vraja. How do you take shelter without becoming absorbed in his mind? To become devotee is to become Krishna conscious 24 hours a day. So naturally, first is a requisite, then there is a proposition to surrender. Therefore, we have to absorb our mind always thinking of him. We should not delay. So that process of absorbing the mind is the credibility of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his Siksha patterns that Rupa Goswami has, devised how to engage our mind 24 hours a day in service of Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told you don't have to give up anything. Sthane sthita sruti gatam tanuvang manobhi. You stay wherever you are, but become conversant with this truth, shruti gatam, by mind, words and activities. Take up this conclusion and then start acting. So, surrender is coming when the maturity arrives in thinking pattern. Now, thinking also affords direct samadhi. Always think of him means you are in samadhi. One who is in samadhi, do you think it will be difficult for him to accept the utter shelter? It is the same. So Srila Prabhupada is telling that this is the most confidential part of the knowledge. Most confidential part of the knowledge. And that to become a pure devotee of Lord Krishna and always think of Him and act for Him. The other thing follows. Other thing follows. You are already under shelter because you are always absorbed in thinking of Krishna. When we are always absorbed thinking in Krishna, that is the practical aspect of our devotional service. Our devotional service always have to make us think of Krishna. Satatam smartavyam Vishnu vismartavyam na jatuchit sarva vidhi nishedha syuhu etayoreva kinkara. Kinkar means subservient. All the vidhis that we do, all the nishedas that we have to follow, it is simply to aid for the smaranam, remembrance, always thinking of Him. So, that is the cardinal principle of religion. Never have any moment that you can forget Krishna. So always think of Him. If you think of Him always, then there will not be any spare moment for anything else. So that is the nature, and we should target that. Because this is the most confidential part. Krishna is telling, see, I know everything about everybody. I'm not asking you, Arjun, that you should also know everything about everybody. No, you just always think of me and you will know everything. Kasmin bhagavo yasmin vigyatam sarvam evam vigyatam bhavanti. If we know that simple one personality by always thinking of Him, then we will be able to know everything. That is the greatness of all the great rishis. They engaged in their sadhana in whichever millennium they are, and they were following, is just to engage in always thinking of Krishna. We can't do that? No. If we chant Hare Krishna, if we work for Hare Krishna consciousness all the time, then our consciousness will be geared. So the degree of our remembrance should increase. That is called advancement. If we cannot forget, that is a good credit. If you cannot forget Krishna, that is a very good credit. And Krishna is like that. Once you start chanting His holy name, He will be after you. He is so greedy, chant more. Perform more activities. Come on, according to your likings, your aptitude. But don't stay idle. If you put somebody before Krishna, then it is bad. Then it is bad. You can't put anybody else on a parallel line even than Krishna. One should be always behind the main object, Krishna. So we have to always think of Krishna. Then in relationship to that, we can think of others. Prabhupada doesn't want us to think of him always and replace thinking of Krishna. He never said that. So in that conversation with Dr. Patel, who brought his friends who are Swaminarayans, and the conversation goes like that. So Prabhupada, these are also Krishna Bhaktas. And Prabhupada said, what kind of Krishna Bhaktas are there? And Prabhupada, really took away their tongue. They couldn't speak anything. So Prabhupada said, look, Krishna says, the satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dradvrata namasyantascha mam bhaktya nitya yukta upasate. If they are Krishna Bhakta, then are they doing that? All right. Krishna says, kirtayanto mam. It is my kirtan. Nobody else. You can't inject any other person. Why are they chanting Swami Narayan, Swami Narayan? This is a parallel thing. Who are you putting before? Guru gives credit, You can give credit to Guru because he is the first one to show. But how long? Guru has a business to put you in front of Krishna. And at that time, he will not interfere between your relationship because it is Krishna's. And he is a servant. But out of respect, because he is the representative of Krishna, but when he really takes you to Krishna, then he doesn't have to introduce it. He brought it before him, and to re-establish his lost relationship, why would Guru come in between? His job is done. But till then he will give you company. So that is the nature. So you can't replace Krishna with Guru. Otherwise, Guru will be swindled under personality cult. We are lucky. But how long? Instructions are more powerful. Just to carry our journey without much difficulty. These guidance are there. It doesn't mean that I don't have to create a faith in my Guru right now. No. In neophyte state, yes. And Madhyamadhikari, yes. You have to give the emphasis. Maybe in Uttamadhikari, you have to keep him in the mind, But you can't put him parallel to Krishna. We do not keep our Guru's photo on the same level as Krishna. The parampara will go ultimately. But we are not showing that. Otherwise we are replacing Krishna. So, the glories of Lord Shri Krishna alone are to be chanted, not along with, Srila Prabhupada. We chant his pranam mantra before because he gave us out of that respect. But we also chant Panchatattva mantra in order to eradicate all the, knowingly or unknowingly committing mistakes in chanting. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very, very merciful, right? But ultimately, we have to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Other mantras are not replacing Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That is a singularity. And therefore, people who misconstrue, Prabhupada gives the example of this Maya Baba and Bhaja Nitai Gaur Radhe Shyam Bhaja Hare Krishna Hare Ram. They are chanting always that, and we don't see chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Yadi Bhaja Hare Krishna Hare Ram, but then it's Krishna's names are there. One person asked me, can we replace Hare Krishna Mahamantra with Panchatattva mantra? Because Panchatattva, they are more merciful than Krishna. And I don't want to commit mistakes knowingly, offenses to the holy name. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so magnanimous, can I replace that mantra? Instead of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, I would like to chant Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. But no Hare Krishna. So what is the use? People construe this kind of thing, where all the mantras are deriving their power. They are all deriving their power from Hare Krishna Mahamantra. You can't replace. Krishna's position is so unique that ultimately everything, they call it buck stops here at Krishna's lotus feet. Just surrender without argument. Most of the common people, they say, okay, I'm surrendered. I don't have any argument. But whether I'm able to act in the mood of surrender or not, that's another question. Belief doesn't take us to the ultimate goal of life. Rather, practice and perfection in that. So, one should not become an official meditator. Life should be molded that one will always have the chance to think of Krishna. Always think of Him gives you all that you do, all that you offer as a homage, all that you give as in charity, all that you do the austerity for, and all do the penances for. You should offer it to me. So offering process gives us practice to remember. Even in our life, we cook only twice a day, and then you remember that we have to offer first. In Jagannath Puri, every hour there is a meal to offer Him. Increase 24-hour kitchen, can you? But that is the meditation people can do. In Jagannath Puri, how many furnaces are there, the stoves are there with wooden, and how much smoke that may be created. But now everything goes so smoothly. Every hour there is Chappan Bhoga, every hour. Yeah, daily, in and out. All these temples, even Nathadwara in Rajasthan, they are famous for Raga Bhog and Seva. The Bhog is so important part of their life. There is a constant thinking of Krishna. While preparing, while offering, while eating, and always remember that I'm made up of Mahaprasad, nothing but, like that, So we can't think any off. No off-track thinking is ever possible. Always remain engaged in our life. These words stress that one should concentrate his mind upon Krishna, the very form with two hands carrying a flute, the bluish boy with a beautiful face and peacock feather in his hair. And there are descriptions of Krishna found in Brahma Samhita and other literatures. One should fix his mind on this original form of Godhead, Krishna, and one should not even divert his attention to other forms of the Lord. These other forms, multi-forms like Vishnu, Narayan, Rama, Vara, we are forbidden even to think, when we should not put our thinking on them. So what to speak of demigods? It's a single pointed devotion to Lord Shri Krishna. Right? Where is our Sydney devotee? Somebody asked me, Maharaj, that why don't we put Lord Shiva, even because he is Mahavishnu, on the altar? I said, is he the same as Krishna? He says, no. Then you must have got this question from a Mayavadi who thinks everybody is same. Therefore, his proposal is to put on the same. I said, no. How can you put yourself and your image together? Do you do that? Even in a photograph, do you stay with your photograph all the time? Do you carry a mirror all the time to see your reflection? People will say you are crazy. Origin, the two-handed form is the origin. Others are expansions. Anshams, kala, niyamena tishtan. Kentu Krishna swayam samabhavat paramah pumaneyo. This is the distinction. So, we should not divert our mind. We may appreciate something. But here also, according to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we should concentrate on Lord Shri Krishna of Vrindavan. How unified thinking about Lord Krishna will be available to us. He gave us cardinal principles that if you want to worship, Aradhyastanaya Vrajendra Nandana, if you want to worship only Vrajendra Tanaya, the son of King Nanda Maharaj. The son of King Nanda Maharaj. Taddhamam Vrindavanam. Because you will be able to always think of him. Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadur Vargena Jakalpita. If you have to perform any worship, upasana, then follow in the footsteps of gopis, because they never forgot Krishna for a moment even. So such methodology, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said. And Srimad Bhagavatam Amala Puranam. These verdicts are given in Srimad Bhagavatam. It's a spotless Purana. If you read Srimad Bhagavatam, you will read about Lord Shri Krishna and nobody else. Right? So, Sri Chaitanya Matamidam. This is the opinion of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu we have to take in our heart. Na anyatha para. Nothing else is superior to us. So, therefore, Vrindavan and the spirit of Vrindavan, those who of us are staying in Vrindavan, must concentrate a very, very acute tivrena bhakti-yogena yajata purusham param. Tivra bhakti. This is the place of tivra bhakti. So in this way, the concentration of the mind on the form of Krishna constitutes the most confidential part of knowledge, and this is disclosed to Arjuna because Arjuna was the most dear friend of Krishna's. Now, this is the declaration of a single pointed meditation on Lord Shri Krishna to Arjuna. He was close associate. But those devotees who are also progressive, then they are also advised to enter into deep meditative aspects of Krishna. Otherwise, for neophytes, the beginners, we are recommended to hear only sound vibrations to think. We will not be able to appreciate the transcendental nature of the Leelas in the neophyte stage. So they are advised to listen, concentrate on the sound vibration, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. As the devotee progresses up to the Nishtha level, he will be off the hook from the material life. He will be liberated. Then he can cultivate the opportunity to serve the transcendental form of Lord Krishna. And that too, Shyamam Tribhanga Lalitam Niyata Prakasham Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilachanena Santah Sadaiva Hradayeshu Vilokayanti. These are the practical aspect to cultivate. How to see Lord Krishna. Hradayeshu Vilokayanti. Not by our eyes only, but also by ears. Because ears give the sound vibration which has to be penetrated in our heart. Bhavanti Radhakarana Rasayana Katha. Then and then we'll be able to think of Krishna constantly. So, it is advised in Rupa Goswami's, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, that a person who is a neophyte, the beginner, he must listen up to his own sound vibrations coming. Because the sound vibrations are always pure, but it requires him to chant offenselessly. And a person with anarthas, how can he chant offenselessly? So therefore he is advised not to jump on even worshipping aspect of Krishna if somebody is having anarthas in his heart. Those who are free from anarthas, they are being trained, say brahmacharis, who have minimized all the anarthas. They will be trained to remove everything so they can interact with the deities. So the Swarupa is worshipped along with chanting. That is an increment. Great responsibility. And then when he gets ruchi and asakti, then he cultivates divine qualities. Divine qualities of Lord Krishna, he has to meditate on the qualities and he has to imbibe those qualities in him, so therefore his divinity will be also coming out. So such exalted opportunity is given to the second initiates to make it. And then it is said that when Radaroga Kam Apanoti is done, the Asakti, Bhav and Prem. Asakti and Bhav is given to those who are completely free from the hard knots of all the doubts, so they can come face to face with the Supreme Lord in spiritual qualities. Because spiritual quality of a devotee can interact with the spiritual quality of the Lord. So whether he is a deity, he enters into spontaneous devotional service. Only then and then it is allowed. But unless and until the lust in the heart is not removed, one should not go into thinking of Krishna in his Leela form. There are more foundational understanding that has to be developed first, and then in the maturity one has to go to the Leela aspect. So therefore here it is said that concentration of the mind on the form of Krishna, the most confidential part of knowledge, and this is disclosed to Arjuna. So Arjuna was also not understanding the form of Lord Krishna, that is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the absolute truth, sum and cause of all causes. He was not able to understand when he was thinking that's just his friend. So this is a very important aspect. Arjuna can only think afterwards 24 hours a day. When he accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he immediately started regretting his actions in front of Krishna's presence, like an ordinary man. And he begs his forgiveness. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. Just like, superior forgives the inferior. The master forgives the servant. The husband forgives the wife. Please forgive me. And that paves the way of purification further, and Krishna is able to, reveal him, in the back transcendental form, the two-handed, which is the only way he can interact with. So Prabhupada said this is the two-handed form is very, very important. Not four-handed or 1,000 hands. So Krishna's original form is always two-handed, and even other denominations like Christianity also accept that man is made in the image of God. So, image doesn't think of the origin, right? And if we are made in the image, how can we think of Krishna? That therefore we neglect it all the time. But by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, we are coming back on the track to remember Krishna. So never forget Krishna for a moment. Always remember him. By hook or crook, yena tena prakarena manah kashnam niveshayet. We have to tame our mind. So anybody has any question? No? Oh, yeah. Where is the... Yeah, pass on, please.
Today, Saramata Prabhu said I had to go on book distribution.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, but my mind is a little scared to go, but I know I have to go, but I want some words of encouragement so I can go.
You need the words of encouragement. Prabhu, you are doing the greatest service to please Srila Prabhupada and Lord Krishna. Do you want to displease them?
No, no.
So are you encouraged to go?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. You are doing the greatest service. Why do you settle for less?
You mentioned just become my devotee. Just immediately you become my devotee. Krishna said. Okay. If you preach others, you immediately become Krishna's devotee. Is it possible?
Why not?
We
You
can
preach. You
but
can.
we can preach. How they will accept?
I didn't follow that part. If you preach,
Immediately you become Krishna's devotee. They immediately won't.
see, it is not a matter who preaches, whether one knows or realized Krishna or not. Even a child can speak the absolute truth. Prabhupada showed that example of Malti's daughter Saraswati. She is 3-year-old kid and she was talking to one gentleman. Do you know Krishna? He said, no. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Prabhupada said, look, she is Guru. But why do you wait? There is a process, system is given. Just follow the system and get into the track of the system. You will be delivered. Absolute truth, whether spoken by unrealized person or realized person, absolute truth is not going to change. But the realized person will able to convince you more faster than unrealized person. That's the advantage of it. But innocently, even if somebody says, then please become a devotee, and he will become a devotee. Many a times we see, we became devotees. We progress by the association of the devotees. And many of our contemporary devotees may not have made the mark, but does it mean that they were less to help me? No. Krishna Shakti vina nahi tara pravardhan. Krishna can empower to anybody and everybody if he chooses so. Simply we have to become an instrument. So, you must go to only Uttamadhikari, but you do not, you yourself are not Uttamadhikari. How can you find an Uttamadhikari? You should know the symptoms. You should appreciate and you should categorically say, otherwise don't waste time. You are wasting time to find an Uttamadhikari, and then you will be left behind. In the whole world, if you go and find Uttamadhikari, oh my God. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was traveling to South India. When he came back to Jagannath Puri, he started narrating his experiences there. He said, South India is full of so many devotees, but I didn't find any pure devotee. This is a statement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mayavad is there, personalism is there, and the very strict, regulated devotees are there. But a pure devotee who can bestow all the benedictions to people. Prabhupada was not in South India. So, the idea that pure devotees or liberated devotees, only they can do the job. They can do job if Krishna, because they are always in rapt attention to Lord Krishna's nature. But without wasting time, if you take some instructions that are given in Bhagavad-Gita by a Madhyamadikari, then at least you will not waste time. Time is Krishna's energy. When we have to do by hook or crook, chant Hare Krishna and think of Krishna, even by force, whatever you think, all these, say, tricks are being utilized to allure devotees and potential devotees. They come. When early times when new devotees just curiously, come, then the devotees were trained to celebrate and invite them in a way. They fall down at his feet and please come, please come. You are our esteemed guest and Krishna sent you. Oh, here is Maha plate for you. So they would give immediately Mahaprasad and the guy is sold out. So this is a trick. Oh, what was that? But nonetheless, it's potency of Krishna. Nobody else's potency. Anything else? Yes.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Yeah.
In Navadvip Mandal Parikrama, there is one Gaudiya Math, I think Devanand Gaudiya Math, or somewhere Bhakti-yoga Thakur established Varaha deity.
Varaha?
The Varaha deity is there.
Varaha deity.
Lord Varaha is being worshipped.
You
must be aware of that, I'm sure. And so in this purport, Prabhupada is mentioning that we should not even divert our mind to the other forms of the Lord. So personally also I feel attraction for Lord Ramchandra, Narayan, Vishnu. We have like South India so many Vishnu, Narayan temples. So we go there still. And also, so Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he established this Varaha deity also. So Maharaj, you can explain.
How did he receive Varaha deity? There must be history. Even Adhoksha deity at the place of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's birthplace, Yoga Pit, is being worshipped. Even the Shivalingas are there, they are being worshipped. During that time, so in commemoration, in connection with Krishna, you can worship them, but they are not the primary focus of our attention. Suppose in this property some artifacts came and we have to worship. Then in that comparison, if we have to worship the Shalagram, Shalagram Shila and the Govardhan Shila, you have to think of Krishna. What is easier to think of Krishna? Krishna's direct form, as it is described in Shyamam Timbakam Lalitam Niyata Prakasham. That form is easy to think of Krishna, then say Varaha deity. Dashavataras are there. We keep Dashavatars everywhere. We glorify. But actually, Krishna took that form, Keshavadrita, Narahari Rupa, Keshavadrita, Vamana Rupa. So, worship is on Keshav. Right? It is Krishna's deity and Varaha deity. But our main focus should be on Krishna. The other deities are not replacement of Krishna, even though they are Krishna's expansions, swansas. Can you worship Balaram alone? Revati is there. They are still worshipping Balaram. But Balaram is the first body of Lord Krishna. Krishna is his first body, Balaram is called second body of Krishna. That's in Chaitanya Charitamrita. If we worship something very distantly connected with Krishna, then we might find it difficult. Very distantly connected. But in Vrindavan, emphasis on Krishna. And I don't think Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur might deviated by establishing Vara deity. No. Prabhupada installed Gaur Nitai, not Chaitanya Mahaprabhu alone. In Gaudiya Math, he donated to Keshavji Gaudiya Math only Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That was Prabhupada's, gift to that math, and they are still worshipping. Now, who will question their tradition when Radha Krishna deities are also there and Gaurang Mahaprabhu is also there? Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna nahi anya. So Radha Krishna as well as Radha Krishna. But there you worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as a servant, as a devotee. As a devotee. Do we worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu as devotees? No. Supreme Personality of God, direct, non-different. That's the mood in Vrindavan. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to Vrindavan, Nityananda Prabhu came to Vrindavan. They were the original visitors. One time I asked Radhanath Swami this question, why don't we worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his sannyas form? Then he told me, this is the form of the Lord who revealed at Advaitacharya's place in Mahaprakash Leela. So we put wigs and everything. We are not worshipping him as a sannyasi. Gaur Nitai in our temple, and Prabhupada did not introduce, you can worship only Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. No, Gaur Nitai. Yeah. Most of our temples have Gaur Nitai. Only New York had. And their excuse was that, there was no place for Nityananda Prabhu. Anyway, so the idea is that this is Mahaprakash Leela. And that took place at Advaitacharya's place. Our Panchatattvas are also on Mahaprakash Leela. So these are the very distinct situation that Prabhupada installed in ISKCON. Yes.
You spoke how the Guru introduces us to Krishna, but the Guru also has a form in the spiritual world. And it's been quoted in class that Prabhupada said that we would know him when we got to the spiritual world and there would be an ISKCON there as well. So that means that some relationship between Guru and disciple, and even disciples as god brothers and god sisters, in that spiritual form in the spiritual world will exist.
Yes, but then at that time it will be revealed.
But we're not going to forget.
Yeah. Even when we are unable to understand an activity of a pure Vaishnava, how are we going to understand those very, very deep and esoteric truths? Vaishnavire kriya mudra vijnanaya pujiya. Very difficult to understand, because they are on the transcendental platform, and if we are not, then we have problems. But then when we are becoming acquainted with these esoteric truths through our parampara and acharyas who realized, and we imbibe. So then we feel the closeness of a family in eternity. So at that point, nobody is going to be separated. Those who have served Srila Prabhupada, they will be with Srila Prabhupada, as clear as anything. Wherever Prabhupada will go, they will follow.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for your class, Guru Maharaj. I wanted to ask you regarding the statement that you made about the fact that if somebody starts worshipping a form that is not exactly Krishna, in its two-handed forms, that kind of worship might create some distance between Krishna and the worshipper, basically. Is this because of the fact that if you worship those kind of forms, you can only go as far as, let's say, the platform of neutrality or servitude, but you cannot go beyond that?
Can you explain me again?
Okay. You mentioned that if somebody worship a form that is not the two-handed form of Krishna, that might create some distance.
Yeah, because it's not the original. Right? Prabhupada emphasized the original form is two-handed. Right? Arjuna was not pacified with the four-handed form. But even though in front of Bhishma Pitama, Krishna was with having original form, yet he asked four-handed form to show him. Why? Why? Yes, four-handed Vishnu was the boss of the great Vasu, Bhishma Pitama. So he had to go back on the job under his direction. And Bhishma Pitama knew that Supreme Personality of Godhead has expanded, but he is the original form and I am working under a four-handed form. So you are the one, right? And Krishna says, yes. He showed his four-handed form. Sweet Krishna in Hastinapur, and when he was, as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu or a Kshirodakshaya Vishnu who is expanding and maintaining the entire material world as the super soul who is always four-handed. He is not two-handed. The soul originally has two-handed. Because part and parcel of Krishna, not of Narayan, otherwise the form of the soul would be also four-handed. We are not. We are two-handed and we are made in the image. We are not original. Original is Krishna. Krishna's image is there. So we always see, other way around. And we think other way around. I am Krishna. My target is to become Krishna. No.